I have this fantasy, and I gotta hear if you're up to meeting this fantasy of mine.
Lay it on me.
I need to hear your best Chewbacca sound. Oh my god. That was better than I thought it was gonna be. I actually just wanted to hear you make a Chewbacca noise.
Oh, sick, dude.
I'm looking at my little pop figure here. My dad's friend got it for him. And my dad's like, what the hell am I gonna do with this? I'm like, I'll take it. It's fucking Chewbacca, man. It's dope.
Do you remember when Discovery Channel just kept making all of those like Bigfoot shows? And
yeah.
There was that one where they just filmed a bunch of people like going out into the woods and going like into the fucking night. Like that was the entire show.
Hey, you guys!
What a genius idea for a show, though, because they're never gonna find him. So then they can just make endless shows looking for him.
Yeah. Oh, there's a spotting up in the deep woods of Canada.
They go up there with night vision.
I'm kidding. If Canada has anything, it has the Yeti.
Yeah, they go up there with night vision. They're just at a fucking the backwoods at a truck stop.
But searching for Bigfoot, do you think Bigfoot is singular, or do you think it's like a... What do they call those?
I don't think Bigfoot's real.
Sasquatch.
I don't believe in Bigfoot now. I think we would have found him by now if he was real. But
I don't know. Have you seen the Canadian woods?
But I think it's more like... Yeah, I think it's more likely it was a species, and there was several.
Yeah, but Sasquatches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
because they have very similar like depictions of Sasquatch, similar to cavemen.
Oh yeah, they have them all over the world too. Yeah. Well, there's one. This is like an idea. I don't know who said it or where it came from, but the idea is that there was a time period like right around the end of the Ice Age where there was like a really big ape-like Sasquatch creature. I forget what they called it, but it was mainly in like China and Siberia.
Yeti.
So that means it was alongside mankind at that point. And then what we're seeing now is like these really old stories, or possibly even like outlying like individual creatures that survived. But
so I do believe in a Yeti.
Really?
Yeah, think like there are so many parts of Antarctica that we can't even go to, can't even travel to. You don't think that there's a species over time that has grown to adapt to that environment?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm saying it might not look like how they depict it, but like this like superhuman creature that has adapted to their living situation?
Maybe. I mean, the Yeti is from the Himalayas. That's what a Yeti is. It's just the Bigfoot of the Himalayas. Like, there's Bigfoot stories almost all over the world.
Yeah, but I don't like the term Bigfoot. Bigfoot makes it sound so singular, like it's one thing.
Oh, yeah.
I like Yeti and Sasquatches, because I do believe there could be creatures like that. You say, oh, we would have found them by now, but you don't know. You don't know that.
Yeah.
They could be covert.
So
it's funny. It's funny because TikTok today was talking about that woman sniper from Russia, the one during World War II, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, my husband has lectured me on this girl so many times.
I don't know which one it is. There was a lot of them, though.
That was a very She's the one that became propaganda for Russia.
Oh, yeah.
China even tried to get her to switch, like, sides, and she didn't, and she became propaganda and even came over to the U.S. to try and get us involved in the war. So they were saying, like, let me see if I can find her name again, because
yeah, Russia was onto something.
But and then because she became propaganda, she stopped. She had 309 confirmed kills.
Yeah,
I remember that was part of it. Oh, it's sniper
of all time.
Deadliest. Lady Death was her nickname.
Yeah, there was...
Her name, hold on.
Lyudmila Pavlichenko, known by...
Did you hear that? That's
Yeah.
the name. But I'm pretty sure that's the one you've told me about before.
Probably.
But much like our Medal of Honor recipients, like, she did become propaganda at a point. She became, like, this political icon. And she, like, spoke to the men of, like, Russia and said, you guys have been hiding behind my back for too long. Like, it's, like, time to shape up. Talk about a woman, man.
Yeah, Russia had hundreds of, like, women snipers, and they purposely made them snipers because their reasoning for it was actually kind of genius, and they were obviously onto something because they produced a bunch of, like, lethal-ass women snipers. But the two main reasons was, well, snipers operate alone, so the lower physical, like how women are not as physical as men.
Mm-hmm.
Since you're operating on your own, she's not going to slow anybody down. She's literally just moving her own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So perfect. There you go. And then women are also more patient than men, which which is like super important for sniping, obviously. But those two factors right there, like, made it that they hit it spot on, being like, yeah, no, we make women snipers, and they were insane.
Not to, like, completely go off the topic, but you said how women are more patient than men. It's funny, I don't consider myself this super patient person, but in comparison to you, I'm the most patient person in the world.
I would say, obviously it's not like black and white. There's, variation with it, but I would say overall women are probably more patient than men.
I mean, I know a guy that's definitely the most patient person I've ever met.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, I don't know. Blanket statements like that.
Yeah.
I get it, though. I get it's like a general... I think the more appropriate term is it's a generalization.
Yeah. Yeah. Generalization.
Because I don't think it's necessarily true. I do think you probably get a higher population of females that are more patient, but, like, I've met several men who are far more patient than they should be.
Yeah.
Far more patient.
No, I can agree with that. Yeah, I've met some.
So I think when you look at percentages, yeah, overall, I think probably females do have that patience. We have to tolerate you guys.
Yeah.
But there's a degree of patience that comes to tolerating women as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
My ass is crazy. Just kidding. I'm not even bad.
Patience is something important that everybody, I think, should have. But...
Dude, imagine, like, I don't know. Just think of a random woman in your mind that's not me. And imagine being married to them instead of me. I think you looked out, man.
Oh, I certainly
This
did.
is my ego, like, talking. I'm just saying, like, I'm pretty docile.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
You definitely you put up
emotional.
with a lot of shit. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's not about what I put up with, though. It's what you put up with. Like, would you have the patience for someone who is any more, I guess, needy or any more, like, I have my needy moments, sure.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I have my crazy moments, and I have my overly emotional moments. But I feel like the difference is, like, mine are moments, whereas there are some people that are just overly emotional or overly crazy.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, my moments.
Yeah,
but some people do really well with that kind of stuff. Some people want, someone like more dependent or emotional or like maybe not even dependent. Relationships are weird just because like of how two people can work together so well versus like, it's like if you know someone and you're like, oh yeah, they're a chill person and stuff, but then you're like, but I could never be in a relationship with them. Yeah. And I even look at women and men like that. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, like I could have a friend and I'm like, dude, would not date that girl because I could not handle it. But that's the emphasis. I could not handle it. That doesn't mean someone can't. That just means I couldn't.
Yeah, emotions are crazy. Because, like, you can it seems like today a lot of people, like, there's a balance. Like, you can't be emotionless. You have to have emotions. But you also can't let the emotions be, like, the lighthouse in the storm either and let that guide you. Like, you have to have emotions, but you also have to know how to, like, I guess, control your emotions.
Well, and I think that's one of my pet peeves, too, is when people make decisions emotionally.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Versus logically.
Well, it depends, too. There's an appropriate time to make an emotional decision.
Or to weigh your emotions in, but, like, you know, I'm just very...
Like, if you have a kid and you're trying to, like, convey to that kid that you love them, or, like, that they're trying to make them feel safe or something, you're probably going to go with the more emotional route rather than the logical route, you know?
No, my parents went with the logical route.
Yeah. I don't know.
We have the right to bear arms.
Well, like, I think you're taking the safe thing a little too literally.
I am taking the safe thing. And the comfort thing, though. There's comfort that comes with safety.
Yeah, I think that's what the word
I felt protected all of my life.
Yeah.
I feel protected in this marriage. I felt protected by both of my parents. Because it was stressed by them that they would die before letting anything happen to us. As far as what they could control if they were there. And that kind of stuff. A little bit darker of a sense is like, you know, like they would even talk. So you watch those movies where someone has a hostage and they've got the gun to the head. My parents both would tell me, no, we would take that shot. Because we don't know what they're going to do. Even if we like miss, we don't know what they're going to do to you if they get away with you.
Mm. Yeah. I think
Hollywood. Like, I think my dad was a sniper, but
Hollywood really did up those hostage stuff. Like, obviously, there's hostage situations where they do the whole Hollywood thing where they shoot the guy over the shoulder. But like, a lot of the times, like, if that individual is a danger to other people, not just the hostage.
Yeah, exactly.
The hostage is going to get mowed down. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one versus the many.
Yeah, like...
One is... Because you can't say one life outweighs hundreds of lives.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know?
So...
It doesn't matter how impactful that person even was. But, like, that was something always comforting to me, is it's like... I don't know, my parents always, like, just stressed that. But, like, we kind of got a little off topic because I was going back to the whole, like, relationships and, like, what people can deal with and what they can't. Like... An example would be like, for me, you are very logical. And I think it's nice that you're logical. And, I mean, it's funny because we're both indecisive with little things, but you're decisive where it matters. And I need that because I'm a very indecisive person. And in the past, I have dated men who have been... overly emotional and overly sensitive, and that just doesn't work for me. But but it does work for a lot of women. They want to see that side. They want to see the tears and stuff. I'm uncomfortable when anyone cries in front of me.
Yeah.
And like, you know, obviously we I'm not saying that we haven't had our moments where it's, you know, emotions get high and like there have been tears.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as that goes, like, I'm pretty sure, like, the only times I've seen you cry, which I think is once.
I was, like, blackout drunk.
You were drunk, yeah. You were drunk. So then it was, like it wasn't as big of a, you know, it's just, like, I don't know, but, like, I was just thinking about, like, these guys that were, like, genuinely, like, nice. But also, I'm a very abrasive person, so I didn't work for them either.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I got told I was too mean.
I can see it.
Yeah, of course you can, because you married my ass. Yeah. And I am. I'm a bit of a, like, bully. Not in the sense of I picked on kids lesser or, like, picked on people because of a difference or something. I'm just abrasive. rough around the edges, but we work well together because you're not super sensitive.
You know, I think I'm also a little abrasive as well. I think, like...
Yeah, you're abrasive, I think
that's why we work.
But my playfulness is abrasive. You're just abrasive by demeanor.
Yeah.
And I like using the word abrasive because it doesn't make it sound like I've never felt in harm's way or anything. Yeah. You know, it's not like you're aggressive. Aggressive is like the bad word.
Yeah, violent.
But like abrasive is just like you're saying it how it is, and yes, I might get hurt feelings, but I never have to question where I am with you. Because you're going to just lay it out on the table. And I might disagree, and I might be sad because you feel a certain way. But I think it's helped me grow in a lot of ways as well. Because, like, I didn't have someone who could contest or, like, bite back for the longest time. Like, I dated these safety. I like to call them safety. Because they were sweet and... But I was never in love. Like, I never felt, like, challenged. And, I don't know, I need that little bit of, like, challenge. Like, you know, because I'm very sarcastic. Which is why a lot of them thought I was abrasive and that kind of stuff. Because I'm sarcastic. My jokes are a little dark. I'm a little insensitive at times. And you and I just got along right away. And it was that back and forth. We could give each other shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, most importantly, we were both very brutally honest. You know, we don't sugarcoat things. Don't use euphemisms. That's one thing that pisses me off is it's like people who, even for death, like people are like, oh, they passed away. Oh, they're in a better place now. No, they're dead. We don't really know. You know, and I'm saying that as a Christian, I'm saying we don't really know. But
yeah,
obviously I have my faith and my belief, and I would love to believe the loved ones I've lost are in heaven, a better place where there's no pain, no whatever. But we don't know.
Yeah, you don't.
You know, we're not going to know until we're dead and gone. But, like, I just don't like euphemisms. It's like, yeah, they died. I'm not saying, like, be gruesome about the details. I'm just like, yeah, they died. But, like, that's why we work. You and I, like, we're very honest. I don't think you've ever sugarcoated anything with me. There have been times where, like, you were working in a hospital, and I knew someone who got admitted to that hospital, and I'm not obviously going to go into details, but I asked you, I go, how serious is this? And you were like, oh, you know that person? And I was like, yes. And you said, do you really want to know?
Yeah. And
I said, yes. But because you give me an out, like, in case I don't want to know. But I do want to know.
Yeah.
And I think I appreciate that about my parents, too. Like, you hear a lot of things on the school bus. And one day, this is kind of a funny story, we were on our way to piano lessons in Michigan when we lived there. I'm going to pause just for a second. We were on our way to piano lessons. My piano teacher was Mormon, and they had a Mormon family, sheep farm, very cute. And I had heard a term on the bus, and so on our way to piano lessons, I'm like, Mom, what's a blowjob? Just like flat out, Mom, what's a blowjob? And I said, no, Mom, I do. I heard it on the bus. I want to know what a blowjob is. You really don't want to know. Because my parents were not the sugarcoat, not the, when a man loves a woman, like, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they told me to wait till I was married. But they didn't tell me that sex was just about love, you know?
Yeah.
Because it clearly isn't in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So after arguing with my mom, and by arguing I mean, like, assuring her, no, Mom, I needed to know. I was in elementary school. I think end of elementary. It was like 5th grade, maybe 6th grade, going into 6th grade. And my mom bluntly tells me what a blowjob is. And I was silent for a minute, and I go, Mom, you're right. I didn't want to know. Because, I mean, obviously that sounded disgusting.
Yeah, well, not
little
only that,
did I know.
little, not only that, like, your mom's one telling you, so the first, like, image you had of a blowjob in your mind was your parents, dude.
I don't think it was, though.
Definitely was.
No, I think I thought of the person on the school bus that said that.
Ah.
So it must have been middle school, actually, because our middle school shared a bus with the high school, because the middle school and high school were right across the street from each other. So I heard a high schooler talking about it, and giving one. Like, didn't hear her giving one, but her talking about giving one. And
wild. It's on the bus. Holy shit.
Gross. But, like, I think that was actually my first image, because I didn't understand what a blowjob was.
Yeah.
Years later, I'm in high school. I've moved at this point. I meet this adorable girl who is 2 years younger than me. So I was a junior, she was a freshman. She was in my brother's class. And we ran cross country together. And her family, Mormon. And she goes, "What is a blowjob?" She was like listening to music or something. And I go, "Kenzie, you really don't want to know." She goes, "No, I'm sick of, like, not knowing. Because I am so sheltered." Like, she just went off, and I'm like... And I bluntly described to her what a blowjob was. And she goes, "You're right. I didn't want to know. That's gross."
Blowjobs rule. They're not gross.
I mean, but when a girl first hears about it, and your instant thought is, they pee out of that. Why would I put it in my mouth? Like, that's like the thing. It's like, gross.
That's so funny.
You know, we don't think about picking up an M&M off the mall floor and eating it. But when you, like,
You don't think twice when... Yeah.
Blowjobs do rule.